Hello and welcome to Poetry in Style. So today I woke up really early to analyze a poem from the book A Thousand Mornings by Mary Oliver. You see what I did there? I woke up early for A Thousand Mornings. Incredible. And as every time I start with a good sip of coffee, wow, cool man. So let's talk about Mary Oliver. So Mary Oliver is an American poet. She was born on the 10th of September 1935 in Ohio, and she passed away on the 17th of January 2019 in Florida. A lot of her poems, especially in that book, but also of her other poems, are related to nature and to a spiritual connection we can have with it. What I really like about the poetry is how simple it is, yet really efficient and really communicative. It connects us with who we are as spiritual beings. To illustrate her style, we're gonna pick one poem which is actually at the first page, like the first poem of a book, and which is, funny enough, at the back of a book, actually a part of the poem. And I find that a really interesting poem, and I'm gonna recite it to you, and I'm gonna tell you why I think it's interesting. A Thousand Mornings by Mary Oliver. I go down to the shore. I go down to the shore in the morning, and depending on the hour, the waves are rolling in and moving out. And I say, oh, I'm miserable. What should I do? And the sea says in its lovely voice, excuse me, I have work to do. So, this is an interesting poem, and actually a very humoristic poem at the same time. I watched a video of Mary Oliver not so long ago when she's reciting poems from that book, and I'm gonna put the link in the description. And a lot of the times, actually, when she's reciting her poems, the audience is laughing. You know, she's got a lot of humor, and I think she reminds us, and this poem, and many of her poems, remind us not to take life too seriously. You know, in this poem she feels miserable, like many of us have often felt miserable. I'm sure you felt miserable. I have felt miserable many times in my life. And I've had things that I felt I could not control. No matter what I did, no matter what I do, I feel I have no power over those things. And those things take a lot of my attention. And those things ruin my life. And we all have things like that, maybe to different degrees. Maybe it just happens from time to time. Maybe it's something that lingers and that stays in you and that really feels like you're rotting at the core. But at the same time, I think it's important sometimes to take a step back, you know? Maybe walk in the forest, maybe go to the sea, maybe, you know, watch birds flying in the morning and dancing in the sky. I don't know, as you want. But the thing is, as she says in this poem at the beginning, she goes down to the shore. That's what's interesting. And depending on the time, the waves are rolling in and moving out, and she is miserable. She is miserable. But no matter what she feels, the sea is still doing its job. The sea is still, you know, moving. Life is still happening. And at some point when she's talking to the beach and to the sea and to the waves or whatever, it says, I have work to do. And I find that funny because whenever we feel miserable, whenever we feel bad, whenever we have things in ourselves that we don't like, it's important to look at the grand scheme of things. What's important in life? There are things we can control and things we can't control. And in those things we can't control, if we keep working on ourselves, at some point we're going to control them better and better. But it might take a lot of work. And in the meantime, we might not feel good. You know? And I think it's important sometimes to detach from these things and realize how unimportant some of these things might be. Because while we are feeling powerless because we have that or that thing, we're actually very powerful because we have a lot of other things that we can control. But because we are focusing on those things that we can't control, we have our attention on the lack of power we have, instead of having our attention on all the great things we can do and how we can enjoy life. And sometimes we wake up in the morning, we try to sip a bit of coffee, we realize the cup is empty, and we feel this day is starting really bad. And you have that thought coming to your mind, say this day is worse, and you go on and you go on and you try things and everything sucks. But then, you know, at some point it's just important to feel like, what, is that going to stop me from enjoying life? Is nature not beautiful anymore because I have this thought? Is nature not incredible because my coffee is empty? Well, you know, of course not. You know, whenever you feel like that, you know, go take a walk in the forest, go to the beach and just do things you enjoy, do things you can control, you know. While you're feeling like that, the world keeps on turning, you know, societies keep on moving, and there are a lot of things you can do. And those things that make you feel miserable, at some point they won't make you feel miserable anymore. But in the meantime, it's good to take a step back, breathe in and out, and just, you know, enjoy life. You know, that's one of the things I had to learn in my life. To stop caring so much, while still caring at the same time. But you know, just that, you know, that's what this poem inspired me, and that's what I like. You know, this poem for Mary Oliver, they are very simple, and you know, but they are very deep. And this poem might be, you know, like a humoristic poem, but I think it's something that you need to read sometimes when you're feeling that way. When you find life to be a struggle, just remember that life is beautiful, that you are incredibly powerful and incredible, you know, and that, you know, you're not done, you know. You still have a lovely life in yourself. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And you know, despite my coffee being empty, I'm still gonna have a good day. So have a good day too.